Lowe's knows that no matter your paint project, saving is at the top of your list. That's why when you shop today, you can buy one, get one free. Select Valspar and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams. One coat coverage interior paints via rebate. Shop these deals in-store or online today at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Offer valid 8/21 through 9/3. This Labor Day at Lowe's, shop member-only doorbuster deals for a limited time. Save $50 on an Ego string trimmer, now $169. Plus, get 50% off select Holland pavers. Not a rewards member? Sign up for free today. But hurry, Labor Day doorbuster deals won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 9/1 while supplies last. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Welcome to For Mannerless Women. I'm your host, Adelle Onyango, and this is a space committed to nurturing a new generation of shame-free women who are ready to meet their best selves. And in this episode, we're going to help you with your journey of becoming your truest self. Lolo Cynthia is joining us, and she is a women's rights advocate. She is very passionate about women's sexual agency, power, and liberation. So, Lolo, thank you so much for coming onto the show.
Thank you for having me.
I saw you at Dada Culture and you were one of the panelists. You spoke and I remember just being like, I can sense the mannerlessness. And so we have to have her here. And so welcome to the show. I'm probably 2 years late, but welcome to Kenya. And let's talk about the creation of Lolo, because I think there's a very intentional way you've approached being your authentic self. That is an incredibly inspiring story.
Okay, thank you for having me. I am super excited to be here, and I'm excited to have these conversations about becoming, because it's a constant journey. And first of all, Lolo it's an Igbo word.
Okay.
It's often a title it's queen, but most time that's a title bestowed to the wife of a chief. So a woman cannot just be a Lolo, except you are the wife of a
chief.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I've always loved the name Lolo.
Okay.
Right? And I was, this is just, I'm going to take you from the front to the back.
Yeah.
And I've always felt like, do I need to have a chief before I can claim that name?
Yeah.
So even the name Lolo has some element of like becoming my best self. But before I even became this Lolo, I think this was a personality that I created when I was like 18 years old, 17, 18. I was in the university, my second year. And I'd just gone through very difficult times in life.
Okay.
I finished school really early, like high school, like 14, 13. So I started life really early, but I've always been this go-getter. I've always been ambitious. I've always had what we call big eyes for the world. I had a big appetite. I have a big appetite. And I grew up in a world, in the society that we live in is very patriarchy, but I'm Igbo, which is a tribe in Nigeria that is very, very patriarchal. And there is this thing that I'm the first daughter, first child. So your identity is always in line with the man you're going to be with. Or you're ambitious, who's going to be your guy? You have this vision to open a boutique, you need a man to invest in the boutique. So everything I wanted to become, even in the movies that I watched, like if you watch Nigerian movies, Nollywood, till date, that's some of the ideologies. Everything that I imagined of myself, I never really saw myself as the person in the driver's seat. I always saw myself as a passenger with a capable driver taking me to where I wanted to be. So navigating life through men, that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
But that was exactly how I was navigating life till I was 18, 19. And I'd just been hit by so many blows by life that I just felt like I can't do this anymore. I was very depressed. I was suicidal, etc. Thank God for health insurance. Thank you, Daddy. He called me one day. He's like, "Is here that they said the psychologist something?" I was like, "It's nothing. I went for physiotherapy." But like, because I had health insurance, and I was
so you could get that help.
I could get that help, and I just knew that something was wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I'd had a lot of traumatic experiences that I'd probably bottled up because I had to be strong. Especially, I'm a Lagos babe, and again, where I feel like I was heading in life did not require weakness. And I didn't even have the language to be able to process some of the things I'd gone through because it was so normalized where I grew up in. Even in the world right now, it's still quite normalized. And I just knew I needed help. So I started therapy really young, 18, and...
Like, I'm so proud of you. Like, the 18-year-old you taking these steps.
Thank you.
Like, incredible.
It's only looking back like it looks so, you know, but I was just like, girl, if you don't do it, you're gonna jump down that place. You have to make a choice. Yeah. And I was at the rock bottom.
Yeah.
You know, and let me just do this thing. Let me just talk to someone. And I did not know what to expect with therapy. But it was a safe space.
Yeah.
For me, actually, at that age, you've never really had anyone to talk to. Yeah. All she did was ask me questions. Yeah. All she did was, you know, poke holes into some of my limiting beliefs. And that's all I needed. I just needed someone to see me. And I think that was the catalyst for all of this.
And that's what therapy, like, when you say the safe space, oh my God. And like,
seen.
No judgment, you can say anything. That's what I love the most about therapy. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think during one of our conversations, she gave me this assignment. She was just like, Lolo, and I was Cynthia then. Lolo Cynthia is my name. So people called me Cynthia then. Yeah. She was like, if you could, what do you want to become? What do you want to do? And, you know, I've always had dreams. I'll do this. And, you know, I want to have this show. But I've never really sat to be like, who do I want to be? Not what do I want to do? Because those are two different things. Most times we feel like we know what we want to do, but who do you want to become? Yeah. That's not about character.
Who are you and what you do very different, right?
Exactly. Because who you are is about your character, it's about your principles. It's discipline. It's the way you navigate the world. Yeah. And that is something that so many of us women have never even had the time to sit down and think about because who we are has been imposed on us by society. Yeah. So that was an assignment that I was just like, okay, sure, why not? Then I was in the bathroom, you know, just thinking about it. I was like, she's going to be bald. Yeah. You know, because in my culture, a woman should not be bald. You can only be bald when you're mourning or grieving a father or your husband. But I was like, no, she's going to be bald. She's going to be strict. She will not take nonsense from any man. you know, because like in my country, as an Igbo girl, particularly, you take a lot of things from men just to be partnered, just to say you have a man. So who I wanted to become was the anti of everything that I've been told. Yeah. And just looking back now as an adult, I can talk about this, is that everything I was saying I wanted to become, I've always wanted to be since I was a child.
Yes.
Like the idea of being bald is not something that came when I was 18. I thought about it when I was 11. I was like, oh my God, that is so cool. Yeah. But there was just nobody.
And you're taken away from that. Like, it's so crazy. I had the exact same moment in therapy where we did a similar exercise when we had gone through all the crying and all that. We're like at the end, and I think she's trying to help me figure out who my true self was. And what was crazy, even the things I was interested in, I could say like in class 7 or 6, so maybe 10, 11, those are things I was interested in, and I was like, who took me away from those? You know? Yeah. So I completely identify with that.
Yeah, I think all we are right now, we've always been. So this is just diverting to another thing. Adulthood and becoming yourself is unraveling everything they've told you and going back to your true self. Yeah. So it's not adding. Yeah. It's actually removing. And what we think is that from childhood to adulthood, you're adding layers. Yeah. So to become who you really are, to become the Lolo, you have to remove those layers. Anyway, so going back to the conversation. Yeah.
So you're doing this exercise.
I'm doing this exercise in the bathroom, just thinking. It's like, because I love maladatu daydreaming. Yeah. So I'm constantly daydreaming, and I just loved this person. Yeah. And I had so many boyfriends then. Jesus Christ. A mess. I had so many boyfriends, and there was this particular guy that used to call me Lolo, my queen. Yeah. And I've always, like I said, I've always just loved the name Lolo. Yeah. But it was even difficult for me to kind of like take on the name, because I was like, how can I be a Lolo without, someone bestowing it on me? Because that's where the power is, the je ne sais quoi. But I was like, no, I love the name Lolo. Yeah. And I named that person, the person I was thinking about, Lolo. So even when I told the therapist about some of the things, she was just like, okay, yeah. But even after therapy, I just couldn't stop thinking about this person. And I was like...
This Labor Day at Lowe's, shop member-only doorbuster deals for a limited time. Save $50 on an Ego string trimmer, now $169. Plus, get 50% off select Holland pavers. Not a rewards member? Sign up for free today. But hurry, Labor Day doorbuster deals won't last long. Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 9/1 while supplies last. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change. Save big during Labor Day at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. Plus, buy more to get up to an additional 20% off. Shop even more savings with 3 Stay Green 1 cubic foot vegetable and flower garden soil bags for $10. This Labor Day, take care of your home for less at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location. Select locations only. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
What's stopping me?
Yeah, like why not?
I'm the one stopping myself.
Yeah.
So this is crazy. I cleaned out all my social media platform because it's been really popular under another name, which I will not say. Wiped out that whole, my friends, everybody cleaned it out, opened a whole new media, called myself Lolo Cynthia, and said I was going to become this person. So even when I was 18, Lolo was a figment of my imagination.
Yeah.
And I did not have role models. People were like, oh, you know Oprah? No, I didn't know who Oprah was. I was like 19. Dude, I'm in Nigeria. We don't have the Oprah show. Like, we are watching Nollywood. You know, I don't know any of these people. And I've always had this dream. I've always had these ideas, but there's no woman around me that looks like what I'm thinking about. So I was like, I'm going to conjure up my own role model. And my role model is going to be my future self.
Lolo.
I like her. I like what she represents. I like the way she walks, the way she talks. You know, she speaks eloquently. So I started brushing up on my English. I read a lot. I watched a lot of movies. You know, if I'm angry, I learned how to control my emotions. How can I talk about my, you know, when someone disappoints me, how can I express myself without insulting? So I don't use disempowering words like stupid. I don't like those words. I don't insult people. I rarely curse. And I was like, it's not as if I don't want to. But Lolo is not that person. So there was just so much unlearning that I had to do. And it was just, every time I thought about who do I want to become? Who's this Lolo? If I'm walking on the road, and this is something that happened all the time, especially when you're navigating the world through men, there's a guy in a nice car. You kind of know how to scope guys. That's a trick again. You look at a guy, you kind of know, this one doesn't have anything. This one has something, you know. So those are tricks that I learned. And when I was walking on the road, I can remember this day. I moved to Lagos. I was in Lagos that time. I was walking on the road and there is this guy, a man, obviously, in this big Jeep. These are the kind of mans we call magas. Conversation. Pot-bellied, he looked moneyed. And you know, the guy is calling me, hey baby, this, and I'm just walking and I'm not stopping. And my heart is racing. I'm like, what the hell is going on? When I sit down to think about it, it's like my heart is racing because I feel like I'm walking away from a bag. It's like seeing an opportunity and you're like, no. And your spirit is like, girl, what the hell are you doing? Like, this is go back. This guy could have gotten something. You know, we could have gotten something from this person. But I'm not stopping because Lolo does not stop. Lolo does not walk on the road and the man is calling her in the car and she's like, okay, hi. No, that's not Lolo. So every time I wanted to do something, like, what would Lolo do? And it took me 10 years. And I think it was only last year that I felt like, okay, maybe Lolo is not someone outside. I am Lolo. You are. Because it was also kind of difficult to come together with those two parts of me because Cynthia, I'm very playful. I mean, I'm very jovial. I like to laugh. I crack a lot of jokes. But Lolo is very serious, very disciplined, very principled. So most times when people see me talk or, you know, they read my articles or whatever it is, they read Lolo. And then they meet me in person and they're like, the heck? Cynthia. Like, why are you always jumping from place to place? You know, so I think for me, also part of becoming was learning how to accept the child in me because Lolo was a protector. Lolo was someone that I needed to defend myself, the person that I truly wanted to be, but I couldn't in the world that we live in. So even recognizing that these two parts of me are still me and they come in when it's necessary, and it's okay to be fun, it's okay to be a child. It's okay to be childlike, not childish. And this is a whole conversation now, the whole thing, but like just engaging with those two parts of myself and recognizing that, yes, it took me 10 years to become this Lolo, but I am her now. You know, when I read something, I'm like, damn, who wrote that? It's like, it's you. I'm like, oh, Jesus. Maybe I'm smart. I didn't know.
Like
but
your videos, like I've watched your videos on your social media and you have this incredible way of breaking down concepts in a way that I can see it in my life or maybe it's something I learned. So that's Lulu.
Yes.
But I also feel like there's space to be I like to think that we're made up of very many women, you know, and there's space for all of them. And through our different seasons, one could be the one who's at the head, and that's fine. I just have found that there's this lie we're told that you have to be this one thing and this one thing only.
Yeah.
And maybe let's go into that. In the creation of Lolo, and even now, right? What are some of the... Now you say that Lolo doesn't like cursing, so I don't want to say...
No, please. I don't stop people.
But what's some of the bullshits that you have confronted where you're like, this is what women were told and this is a lie.
Yeah.
Like, this is not true.
Yeah.
What are some of those things you've met?
Well, the first one I always tell women and myself is proximity to power is not power. You know, you kind of have to let that sink into your brain, because a lot of us women are very intelligent.
Yeah.
We have that what we call the gut instinct. A lot of men don't have that because they're not in touch with themselves. We're ambitious. We're entrepreneurial. We're able to do so many things. And that is a gift. But when you're in a society that recognizes that gift, they think of a way that they can harness that gift for themselves. That's what proximity to power, that's propaganda that they fed women. So a man goes and looks for a young girl that just finished high school or just about to finish university. She's ambitious, she has all the courage, blah, 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 blah. He doesn't have it. He marries you. The next thing you become his assistant or his secretary. What are you doing? You're funding your ambition through him. He's living your life, but you're never going to get the recognition. You know, so proximity to power is not power. We have so much in us that we have chosen not to believe, or worse, we are afraid of. Sometimes you're scared of your power because Jesus... Who's that woman? You know, you're not able to sit in it. So that's one thing that I had to learn, that if you want to go somewhere, you have to be the one in front of the steering wheel. And you have to ride. And if you hit a pothole, you hit a pothole. You get back up, you keep moving. You know, so that's definitely one thing that I
really love that one. Because I think sometimes even confronting and sitting within your own power as a woman, you're discouraged also from realizing it, because it's like, oh, it's going to chase away the guys, it's going to, you're going to be intimidating, or you're going to be this, and it's just like, can't I just live, you know? Okay, so that's one.
That's one. And I just love what you said about how, like, sitting in your power feels like you're going to chase away the men, because I feel like that goes to something you said in the back. It's about like male attention, performing for the male gaze, and that's also one of the BS that I had to unlearn. When you perform for the male gaze, it's exhausting, by the way. It's a lot of energy that you could be channeled towards thinking about your own life, thinking about your own dreams and ambition, but you're thinking about how you appear to the world. How do I look? How do I sound? This clothes I'm wearing, is my breast too big? Is my, oh my goodness, when I walk on, is anyone looking at me? Is how do I sound? It's exhausting to perform for the male gaze. So even decentering men was one of the things that was so important for me. And it's so difficult to do because everything in life is really channeled towards, well, performing, if not just for the male gaze, performing for society, performing for women. So unlearning the fact that true freedom, true liberation, through joy, true joy is revolutionary. And what that means is that you're being your best self, you're being authentic. It doesn't have to appease everyone. Even sometimes you're like, girl, what the hell are you doing? But you're free. And I think that's also one of the reasons why we are so broken away from our childlike state, because we have no shame. We don't care. I'm dancing on the road. I don't care. But as you grow, you begin to have the consciousness that, oh, people are watching me, this or this. So for me, one thing I had to learn was embrace your childlike state. Embrace that as a woman, because that is the core of yourself. In our society, womanhood feels like suffering because it's almost synonymous with, like, first of all, menstruation is painful. You have to accept it. Childbirth, that is normal. You have to be, you want to be an Hebrew woman. Oh, suffering in relationship, cheating, that's how men are. That's how, it's like, no, so everything about womanhood is just anchored on how much suffering you can endure. That when you even want to go back to a childlike state, it's like, why would you do that? You're being naive. But it's okay to be naive. It's okay to have those innocence, because that's where your joy resides. You can't be vigilant and have enjoyment in life. You know, and that's what society tries to take away from women.
Especially even playfulness. I wrote about it recently, that I was like, please, sister, don't forget to be playful.
Yeah.
Like, don't forget to burst out into your favorite song,
Yeah.
to hop, to dance, to like, all of these things are still rebellion. Even just joy. Being a happy African woman is rebellion.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're a good woman the more you suffer.
Yep.
And the more you suffer gracefully, you just take.
Because suffering loudly is a problem. Are you the only person that's going through this? Because it triggers everyone. You have to smile, you have to do that. So that's definitely some of the things that I had to unlearn. Also, I think this is just by the way, is trust your gut. A lot of us women, we don't trust our guts. I think I read this somewhere, is that gut feeling that a lot of us women is the subconscious rage that we feel living in a misogynistic world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know it, your spirit knows it. That thing that guy said just makes no sense, or that thing that guy did just doesn't feel right. We call it in Nigeria, we say, I feel somehow. I just feel, I don't know.
There's something.
Something is off. But you don't have the words for it. And because you don't have the words for it, you accept it. So trust your gut. I don't need to understand it, but it just doesn't feel good to me. I'm going to walk away from it and see how I feel.
Do you think the element of not trusting our gut is also, it's kind of socialized out of us because you need to trust the nearest man for guidance and like for direction and for, if he's says I'm not good in this, he's right. You know what I mean? So then you stop even seeing yourself as a whole being with this whole system inside you that like catches on to things, right?
Girl, you are preaching to me because I'm like, this is so true. It is so, and it's not just a romantic part. Even your brother.
Yes, your father,
your uncle. It has to be outsourced. That's what I call it. You outsource your agency, your autonomy, your intelligence. You outsource all of that because you that's what you've been told to do. Even when you know better, you still feel like there's no way, it has to be a guy. And so many women have actually bought into that. You know, we call it the brainwashing and the propaganda, the fraud, that they are never going to be good enough. So there are women that will fight you because you want to run for a political position. They're like, a woman, leave me, not possible. It has to be this man that has led me astray. I need to keep leading me astray than a woman that is going to be, you'll be socialized to accept that this man has to be this role model, this figure for you. And you know, it's so interesting is that it's not just about like, oh, poor women, uneducated women. No. It cuts across.
Because it's mindset.
It is insane. Your teacher who is in class teaching you English about this, you see the way she just transforms when she's talking to her partner or something. You become almost like an invalid. And I think it's also like, when you grow up as a child, that every time you want to say something, you're not being listened to. After a while, you just contain yourself. And you look for especially if you're ambitious, you look for the next vessel. So that's why a lot of ambitious women, you see them partnered with men in power. It's not because they don't want power for themselves. It's because they've recognized the society they live in. They know that the way to get to where they really still want to get to is to find the right vessel that is acceptable in the society. So they end up channeling it towards a man. But the other people and other women who haven't caught up just have to let go of that gut feeling in their system because it eats you up from the outside. And there is a difference between being ignorant and ignoring. So I would rather not know.
Oh my God. Can we talk about decentering men?
Please.
Like, what did that look like for you in the last 10 years?
First of all, I love decentering men. I'm big on sisterhood. So I love women. Like, I really love women. I think our liberation is anchored on sisterhood, so that's definitely out there. But decentering men is, I think, some of the things spoken about, recognizing that no one is coming to rescue you. Oh, you see that fantasy? Oh, the Prince Charming.
And I think it's a good thing. Like, I keep telling people, it means that you have everything within you as a woman to, like, rescue yourself or save yourself.
But you know, that's scary too. Because it's hard. To know that you're the one responsible for your life, responsible for your mistakes, responsible for your success. But that's also what gives men the edge. Because they know that there's no one coming to rescue you. And when there's no one coming to rescue you, you fight till the end. So for me, that's also one of the things I had to learn in terms of decentering men, is that no one is coming. Especially if I want to become this person that I want to become, you have to know that you're going through this alone.
Yeah.
Another thing about decentering for me was that refusing to navigate the world through my sexuality.
Okay.
Through
What
my
does that mean?
sexiness.
Yeah.
You want to get something,
Yeah.
a contract, whatever it is, you wear very nice clothes and you
Yeah.
bat your eyelashes.
Yeah.
And you let certain boundaries,
Slip. Yeah.
Women do that purposely.
Yes.
You know when setting boundaries.
Yes.
No. So for me to decenter men is to hold the line. It's difficult because you're going to be punished for that.
Yeah.
Because, men love to play the game. But to hold the line and to say, if I get something, I got it because I knew that I gave it my all.
Yeah.
So that's very important as well. Also in terms
That's so
of...
refreshing to hear, because I don't hear that when we talk about decentering men. Yeah.
And also for me, decentering men is even like thinking about the way my body is not for the pleasure of a man.
Oh my God. I think I can't remember who, but it's the musician who said, I'm not here for your consumption. And with social media, oh my word, you see that a lot. Like if you put up something and men will be commenting like, why is it like this? And it's like, please.
That's out of my sight.
Yeah, this is not for your consumption.
Yeah.
I'm happy with me. Yeah.
Like the way you dress, your sexiness, your body. It's not for the male gaze. It's for my gaze.
Yeah.
And if I do want the attention once in a while, yeah, sure, but it's never for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and what that means, especially if you're a woman that has been used to it, because I lived a lot of my life, especially when I was much younger, for the male gaze. To switch is kind of difficult because damn, it's lonely. Like there's nobody else. Get me out. I'm bored. I am bored. But it also means you don't anchor your worth on male validation.
Yes.
Which is another thing. Like it's so difficult because if you're a beautiful woman and you go to a restaurant and no guy asks you out, you go home and be like, God damn, what are you looking bad?
Is it the outfit?
What is going on? But when you don't anchor your validation on that, and you're like, no, I went out, I looked good, I took my photos, I felt good.
I enjoyed the experience.
That's enough for me, So that's very important. And in terms of like the validation and the wearing of the outfit, for me, one other thing as well, especially when I tell young women, is that anything you want to wear it. Don't be too scared to be like, if I wear this, then people are gonna... No. Wear what you want to be. Live in your own skin. Live in your own body. Accept it for what you really want. And there is a lot of freedom. And especially if you decenter men as well, when you walk on the road, you're not even aware when guys are looking at you. That is so... Because people are like, you're a beautiful girl. How do you deal with men? I say, I don't even see it.
Yeah.
And I genuinely do not see it.
Yeah.
Because the moment men are not the primal focus in your brain, something else takes over.
Yeah.
It could be
your joy.
Let me tell you, I'm walking on the road, I'm listening to your podcast. Do you think I see you? I don't see you.
Yeah.
But when you are so focused on centering men, that attention is on them. You're thinking about this. So you don't have time. Time is finite. Energy is finite. What you channel your energy is where your focus, where your focus is, that's where your energy goes. So sometimes I don't even think women recognize how much energy they put into men and how much that takes from you. What would you have achieved if your focus was not on trying to get this guy to help your life? And I think what made it easier for me to decenter men is that when I sit down and I think about my life and where I am right now, the people that have helped me get to where I am, 99% have been women.
Do you know, I've always thought that myth, may I still call it a myth, that women are their own worst enemies, I'm like,
Propaganda.
I don't know.
Propaganda.
I don't know, And so, that's true. And even back to your body, right? I think it's also important in the process of like decentering men to speak about the changes women are making to their physical bodies just to get the approval of men or based on like what we think men find attractive.
Yeah.
I've always been skinny. I've always just been like tall. And I thought it was okay. Like I just thought it was great. And I remember little comments from when I was younger, like, oh, you have feet like your granddad. And I loved my granddad. So I was just like, yay, And then I remember another one of like, oh no, you look like your uncles. I loved my uncles. I'm like, this seems like a compliment. And it's only like years later, there was one comment that was like, oh no, you're so skinny, only a white man would want cheese. When I was like, oh wait, so what? All those other ones not compliment? Like, and you have this insecurity about your body, and you're like, oh, I have to change it. Not even in terms of what I would like it to look like, but what is attractive to men.
Yeah.
You know?
So you could be chosen. Because it goes back to that thing of being chosen.
Yeah. Did you have to like navigate that chapter of decentering?
Yeah, I think so. But for me, I've always been curvy. I've always liked my body. I think what I changed was the way I dress. Which is, it's crazy because I felt like I was so sexual. I sexualized myself a lot as a way to be seen. So the shorts, the cleavage and all of that. So to become Lolo and to decenter men, I actually had to like cover a lot of my body. And so that's not the first thing that you see. But then it was in 2020, this was after like maybe 8 years of becoming Lolo.
Yeah.
I also went through another epiphany where I recognized that I loved the way I used to dress. Maybe I loved it, but I'd always anchored that love for the way I dressed with the validation I got from men. So for me to also decenter men is to reclaim my body back and say, dude, nigga, it's fucking hot. Yeah. I want to wear shorts. And I don't care if it's going to whatever it is to you. So that is also, it's very interesting because it could go both sides.
Yeah.
Where it's not just about the physical body, but like the way you even present that physical body to the world and the awareness of how that physical body will be received and still not caring.
Because it makes you happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, those are some of the things that I had to navigate. But when you talk about like, it's called the beauty myth. Beauty is always changing. Last few years was BBL. Now people are taking out the BBL. It now has to be skinny thick.
Yeah.
Next month is going to be something else. So if you keep on changing your body to appeal to people so you can be chosen, you're never going to have enough. You just, like I said, you have to detach your worth from being chosen.
Yeah.
You have to detach your worth from male validation. Because a lot of women, even when, you know, for instance, much younger, even conversations I have with young girls where they're like, yes, I'm ugly, but your boyfriend still wants me. You see how to them that's an insult. That's this, but it's like, no, you don't recognize that you've anchored your worth on being chosen. What if he doesn't still want you? Yeah. Does it mean that you're ugly for real? You know, so when you recognize that your beauty is about you, it's not how you perceive me. I don't care if black men don't find me attractive. And are you the only man in the world? No. I love the way I look. I love the way I feel when I wear this thing. So for me, those are certain conversations.
And what's
transformative
transformative is like me accepting me. Like that's really powerful. Let's talk about pushback because I think about it a lot, especially like these last couple of weeks, about how like society has systems and you are rewarded for playing according to their rules and you are punished when you don't. So for example, there are rooms when, before I got married, there are rooms that wouldn't hear my opinion. Then all of a sudden I got this ring and it's like, oh, come sit with us. Now you have things to say. And there was like respect. And then I got divorced and it's like, please. Not even to where I was before. It's like another back move, right? And so it's like you get respect, but it's not really respect because it's not based on who you are. If you play according to society's rules as a woman and you can lie to yourself that it's actual respect, but it's not. But when you become Lolo, there's pushback.
Of course.
What did that look like?
Jesus Christ. I mean, there's still pushback till tomorrow.
It never ends.
It never ends. First of all, I don't want kids. I don't want to get married. You see that? I'm already like, oh, bad African. Move to the back.
I think
those two are already like, what is happening? You know, I don't want a man to give me money. Jesus Christ. For me, it's the pushback is always going to be there if you step out of a system that wants to put you in a box. I think for women in general, you just have to be aware of that. Sometimes you go into this thing, think it's going to be so rosy. Liberation. No, liberation is hard.
It's tough.
Liberation is tough, girl.
And lonely.
Let's not even have a conversation about loneliness. Let's not open that chapter. It is so lonely, you know. But I think about what's the alternative. because it's opportunity cost. So if I do this, I get this. If I don't do this, I get this. And I understand and empathize with women who decide to play the game, who recognize that, dude, it's hard. I would rather navigate a patriarchal system on their rules and see how I can bend it in a way that kind of suits me and I can navigate it properly. But when you are a mannerless woman, let's say that society doesn't like it. And in terms of punishment, people think it's like, oh, it's just online vitriol. No. That's the easy one.
Yeah.
That's the easy one. The hard one is even when you're punished by other women.
Yeah.
When you're not given, certain spaces to have these discussions where you think, my goodness, am I a good role model? Because you begin to also question things like that. Like, I'm going to go talk to these girls now. They'll be like, Jesus, Jezebel, let's come and talk to the student. Or you don't get that contract, even if you know that you're meant to get it. But because of you didn't let that guy smile with you for longer than 10 seconds, there's certain things that you cannot be like, this is why I'm being punished. But that's exactly it. Or the fact that a man comes to ask you out and he already sees you as someone for a fling. You cannot be a long-term partner because, dude, you don't want to get married. You don't want to have kids. So I really like you, but where's this going to lead? Exactly. So like those are certain other elements that comes with that kind of punishment. But like I said, what is the other side? Yeah. I accept society, I get married, I have kids, we have the husband and wife thing. Am I happy? Is that really what I want? And when I start to think about that, like, it's scary. Yeah. Because I keep saying ignorance and ignoring. One is a conscious decision to not do anything. Yeah. So it's better for me not to even have known that there was a part of me I could become than for me to know and not try it. For me to know and still accept whatever is being thrown at me. So whenever I think about it, I'm like, the other side of this discussion is I can't accept it. Yeah. I feel suffocated. I can't breathe. Yeah. This is not me. Yeah. And what I also recognize is that a lot of the people that choose the other side, for whatever reasons, I can tell you that sometimes they envy me. Yeah. Because they want that freedom, in quotes, that you have, the ability to say what you want. Yeah. You can't beat me.
Because, and I always say, like, even if you choose that and it's not what you really wanted, you always know. There's like a nagging, maybe it's the gut thing again. Yes. There's a nagging of like, I wasn't meant to be here. Yes. Yeah.
And this is also one of the reasons why we have some of those aunts that are so mean to teenage girls. Yeah. When a teenage girl, because there's another conversation, a teenage girl is going through puberty, her body's beginning to develop, they're mean to her. Yeah. It's because they're projecting. They know what the life that they gave up. They see you as a young lady living the life, traveling, they're upset. Yeah. They're not upset at you, they're upset at themselves. Yeah. So sometimes you sit there and be like, I want to leave. Yeah. And like you said, even if I make a decision and say this is what I want to do and I don't like it, I can step back and be like, I want to do this other thing. Okay, I don't like this and I want to do this other thing. And I think in the beginning of this conversation, we spoke about how society wants you to do one thing. Yeah. One of the things I had to also learn is that you can be many things in life. Yeah. It doesn't all have to be at once.
Because life is also long, and also you change, isn't it? You evolve, and this thing that used to bring you joy, maybe like 2, 3, 4 years later, you're like, nah, I don't like it. I want to try this other thing. Exactly. And it's allowed.
It's okay.
To a woman who's watching this and wants to start becoming her or their version of Lolo, where do you think that they should start?
Well, I think I would tell you, just go back and start with the exercise. Sit with yourself and say, what do I want to do? Or who do I want to become? What are some of the traits in the woman that I admire? Because many of us have role models. When you sit down and say, what do I really like about this person? Take away the glitz and the glam. What do I like? What's the character of this person? It could be that I like Adele because she's bold. And maybe that's something I've always wanted to be for myself, but I can't. But that's what I like about her. I like this other woman because she's plus size, but she still dresses the way she wants. So that body confidence, body positivity, begin to break down those things that you like about the people that, in quote, you follow. Sit down with them and say, is that also who I want to become? Yeah. Write down a list, a mental list, a written list. I like writing because when you write it, you can see it.
And it's real.
I'm saying it's like, damn, I do love to write. So sit down with yourself and have those conversations. Yeah. It's your imagination, so dream as wild as you can. And it's okay to be afraid because sometimes when you start to dream, it's scary.
It's scary. And I think also we need to accept that like fear I like to think of fear as coming from a place of love, and there's no state of no fear. Like that waiting for like, okay, the fear means don't do it. No, it's like, when people say, I slayed my fear, I'm like, no, I feel like you just need to have a conversation with it and just be like, I know you think we're going to get burnt. We might, but we will be okay.
Yes.
Yes. There's no state of no fear, maybe death, right?
True. I mean, even with that, who knows what's happening?
We don't know.
Child, they might be going through their own thing. I don't know. There might be another thing happening over there. Yeah. But yes, just having those lists and then deciding on one thing. Yeah. You don't need to do everything at once. Yeah. It could literally be, we can use an example like outfits. Oh, I wanna wear more colorful things, but I'm scared. I've always worn black. Just one day wear a purple top. Yeah. Something. The joy you will feel wearing that purple top would encourage you to try something else. Yeah. And that's how slowly you begin to become the person you want. Yeah. Oh, you're a woman, you're a mother, you don't have time. But you've always wanted to read books. Pick up a small pamphlet on the book and begin to read. Yeah. You've always loved crocheting. Start doing those little things. I think for me, becoming your best self is finding joy in the things that you've abandoned to become the person society said you should become. And once you start to put joy back into your life, the hard things will start to come in. Yeah. Yes, like speaking out. For instance, some people don't know how to say no. Yeah. There's a whole conversation. Yeah. So maybe the way to start to say no is by saying no to the little things. It's like, oh no, I can't do this, but can I offer you this? That would make you feel so good. Like, damn, I stood up for myself. Yeah. So it's like start it small ways. Yeah. And confidence is a muscle. People think you just wake up, Lolo is so confident. No.
You build it.
You build it. If I'm confident in this scenario, it's like, wow, I can be confident in the next scenario. Yeah. So take it slowly. Build it. Take your time. Trust yourself. Trust the process. Trust your chi. Like I always say, like there is something in us, specifically as women, trust that gut instinct. I don't know what it is, but it's telling me to try this. The result might not be right there, but in the next 2-3 years, you connect the dots looking back. You're like, oh my God, that's why I did that thing. Give yourself a chance on life. Bet on yourself. So many of us, we bet on others. Yeah. We bet on things. We bet on whatever it is we're watching. But you don't bet on yourself. If you can't bet on yourself, why should someone else bet on you? Why are you so scared of yourself? Maybe it's scared of failure, scared of what you could become, but that's okay. Because on the other side of success is fear. Yeah. So I just say, take it easy, sit down with yourself, imagine the person you've always wanted to be. It's never too late. I also for me, one of the things that keep me calm, I'm 30. Yeah. That's all that's a thing. One of the things that keep me calm is to recognize that there's so many people that their lives have opened up when they are 40, 50, 60, 70. You have so many chapters in life. Don't give up on yourself.
And so many versions of you're yet to meet. I always say you haven't even met all the people who will give you love. You haven't met all the spaces you're going to be happy yet, That is another myth of after 30,
life has ended. That is one of the scary things. That's why women rush to give birth. Yeah. After 30, you're never going to find a man that's going to do this for you. Oh, you want to have a PhD. Yeah. How many men have PhDs? You think a man wants a PhD as a wife at home? They put all those things, those, nuggets of fear to put you in a box. So you have a survival mentality. No, a scarcity mentality. Allow yourself to bloom. Water your own plants. Yeah. See yourself as a rose. Sometimes the plants die, they come back again. And that's the wave of life. Yeah. Like you said, there's so many versions of ourselves. You just haven't met. Be excited. Yeah. So that's really how I see life. And I'm that's how I see becoming. Because I'm still becoming. Me trying to reconcile the fact that, there's that childlike state in me that I have not allowed to come out.
To breathe.
Yeah. And it's because of trauma. Because, neglect. And I felt like I had to protect this person. But now no one's going to hurt me. So I'm still becoming, So just give yourself the opportunity.
Yeah, and the grace and the space. Yeah.
You're worth it.
And so who is Lolo now and what does she do? Because I'm hearing you talking to younger girls. I've interacted with a lot of your content online. So who is Lolo now? What does she do?
Oh Lord, what does she do? 100 things.
What doesn't she do?
I'm constantly looking for money. So I As a job,
Yeah.
I have like a consulting agency where we focus on social impact advocacy, media
Wow,
campaigns.
yeah.
So that's definitely something that I do. But I also create a lot of content around women's sexuality, liberation, power. I'm passionate. That's my passion.
Yeah.
That's my destiny. Those are things that just feed my soul. That's one of the reasons why I love going to schools, talking to young girls. I teach sex ed. So we have a program called My Body Is Mine. We have, our sexuality education curriculum. We have books, pamphlets. So that's the umbrella that which I go and I give these conversations to young girls, to young women, because listen, all of us, we are still fighting for our lives.
Yeah.
But I really love talking to young women, young girls, particularly teenagers. That 14, 12,
Yeah.
13. It's such a very pivotal
very
time.
difficult to navigate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And once you empower a young girl at that age with clarity, I don't need to know what you want to do, I just need to give you that clarity to be able to say, this is who I want to become. She's just going to keep going. So I really love to talk to women at that age. And so those are some of the things that I do. Who am I? I'm a small girl. Just a small girl fighting for my life. I like to think of myself as a dreamer. I like to think of myself as a jokester. Just someone that wants to live life to the fullest. Someone that believes that she is destined for great things. She doesn't know when that great thing is coming because it's taking a long time. But there is just so much that I feel like I have a lot in my cup that I feel like I can fill other people's cup. And for me, Lola is just someone that wants to be a blessing to others. And for me, that being a blessing to others doesn't always have to be financial. It could be giving women the key to their liberation.
Yeah.
And this is my spirituality talking. But that's really what I feel is my calling in life. And that's really who I am, a teacher and a student of life.
And can I just say, you know how you mentioned earlier, like some schools would be like, is this the person who will come and talk to the girls? It's so important for young girls to see your version of womanhood. I think sometimes if you can't see it, you're feeling like, I don't want to go this route, but like, what does the other one look like? If you think about even just African families, there's always that one aunt who maybe you see her only in Christmas, but she's always like thriving and just happy, and she's not adhering to any rules.
Yeah.
And you're just like, wow, you're so enamored by her, right? So can you imagine if we had more versions of what womanhood could be?
Yeah.
Then young girls can be like, okay, this is mine.
Exactly.
It affirms theirs,
Yes.
right? So I think it's so important, the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much. You too. You're doing amazing.
Thanks. And it was so great having you on here.
Thank you for having
You're
me.
such good energy. I wish you could just like come for each and every episode because you have an incredible way of looking at life, and your story of becoming is just so powerful.
Thank
you know? And so if you've enjoyed this episode, check out the description. We put all the resources and links for you to be able to contact Lolo. Make sure you check out her social media because the content she posts will be so vital for you on your journey of becoming. Like this episode, share it with all the mannerless and almost mannerless women in your life. Make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on next week's episode.